What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another live stream. Today, we're just gonna be chilling for tonight. Maybe I'll do some creepypasta stealing. Maybe, cause I don't know, running out of ideas. Holy fuck! Look at the chaotic detective agency, TNT.
What's going on over there?
He's fucking pissed. He's pissed.
I'm just gonna ban him. Wait, I can just ban him from here too. Wait a
Wait,
minute,
no,
I
no,
can
no,
just
no, no,
ban him
no,
from
no,
here
no!
too.
Don't. Hold on. Let me show everyone. Let me just.
Joe, can you handle this for me?
What am I supposed to do?
Get Tom to calm this dude down. I don't want beef with nobody.
Oh man. Yo, Tom.
You're the dominant one. You get him out of here.
Why do you say that? Like I'm just okay, man. All right, let's do this.
Mm,
Yo, does whoa? Well, does it say what I got banned for in the chat in the server? No, no, it doesn't. I'm gonna just say no, it doesn't. Yo, what's up, hey Zach?
hey Zach,
Whatever.
where did you go? Where did you go?
Yo, someone's in our chat. Welcome,
Anyway,
Emma. Uh,
so I've been debating for like I don't know like May something.
I've
I
been
don't know exactly
debating
how
for five
long.
years.
But I've been debating for like maybe 3 months. I scaled Wally West for two. I think I was debating somebody on like Wally West versus Goku, and I actually like
Goku
went to
slams.
Azak to help.
Sorry. All right, let's continue. Let's see what else they're saying. I find it funny how Snow is running from me after talking shit while I was debating rewrite. Then he needs his ass saved when I'm done debating
Dude,
him.
Snow
That's
was
kind of
not.
crazy.
Dude, Snow was slamming you. Snow was putting him in the dirt. Mm,
Whoa.
what if I just like? What if I just unban him and it wasn't me who banned him? Just tell him that it wasn't me who banned him. Somebody did.
Okay. You want me to invite him back?
I already unbanned. He's gonna come back so mad.
All right.
God,
You want me to invite him back?
I guess.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna invite you back. Here we go, man. Here we go. Doing a little mischief today's stream. Didn't expect to do this on today's stream. Alright, here we go. He's gonna come back. I gotta delete this shit though.
Yeah, delete that so nobody can see it.
He's back! He's back! Alright.
Wait, I gotta delete what I said. Wait, I gotta delete what I said. Wait,
Oh, you're so good!
This is about to be a war zone. Is he typing?
I don't know.
He's
Hold on. Let
typing.
me
He's typing.
alright, let's see.
He's typing.
Oh no. Quarters after the All Star game. Quarters after the All Star game. Holy shit. We're so
God,
cooked.
he's mad. He's mad. Snow's gonna bite his head off.
Who the fuck is Snow?
Bro, Tom asked the all-star who the fuck is Snow.
Hey, tell Tom that it's like monkeys on steroids and he wants to debate you.
Oh god. Oh no.
Because Tom's already lost to monkeys like 3 times in a row.
Why?
Because they debated like Goku versus Saitama twice.
Well, that's Monkey Z's best topic. For a win con to happen, you have to debate at your best and at their lowest. That's like the best win con. I do that shit every time. The worst person I rep is Jason Voorhees, and I'm and Jimmy is already saying, "How the fuck am I supposed to compete with this? I got Bill and Outer. That's it."
Just because Jimmy's getting gapped. Just because Jimmy's getting gapped.
Damn.
Dude, I know how it feels to like be such an underdog. Like, cause like I had my reputation on the line. I know what it
Yeah.
feels like, even against boundless characters. Yeah, I'm the GOAT. Yeah. Freaking Sky was trying to act all tough to me earlier when he can't even prove that his P and not P is correct. Him and like Sandman, right? Sky and Sandman. I gave them a P and not P for why Link is boundless. Cause like I'm just gapping them, like I'm just ego farming at this point. And they steal it. And they just replace the word Link with Dante, and then Sky replaces the word Link with freaking Saitama. So they steal my P and not P. And then I'm like, yo, prove why P4 is right. And they both tell me like they just define boundless when that's not even what P4 states, bro.
Oh my god, here we go. Oh god.
It's Snow.
Bro, Snow better not snitch, bro. Snow better not snitch. Tell him to not snitch in DMs. Tell him real quick. Do it real quick. You gotta hurry. You gotta hurry.
What do you mean? So what do you mean? Tell Snow don't snitch.
So he doesn't rat you out, bro. He's gonna eventually
Do I tell all?
he's gonna say why did TN who unbanned on All Star.
Let's just blame it on rewrite.
Just blame it on rewrite. Man, this shit is funny. It's only 8 minutes into the stream.
Oh, Snowshoe's mad.
No. I'm gonna die, bro. I'm dead. Yeah, Bill is only hyper. Emma, yeah, that's true. That's not what an amplification is. Oh yeah, chat, I'm gonna show my Jason Voorhees scaling. No copying, but you can see it.
They're gonna be screenshot now.
You're gonna screenshot it?
I'm just gonna hand it to your viewers, bro.
The negative zone is like Outer Versal Plus, so I can provide scans for that, but
some random? Yo, he's telling Tom some random.
That's wild.
Dude, this same random, I'm gonna tell Tom.
Yeah, offer statements go hard. Look at this. By virtue of being out of the dream world, Freddy is weakened. Jason is also weakened from the drugs in his system. That's why it was a fair fight as long as it was. Also, Freddy should. Yeah, they're both weakened. Anti-life, which sees space-time as equal, all this kind of shit. It transcends space-time. The cosmology is composed into infinite realities in the dream world. All that kind of shit.
Yo, Snow is aura farming, bro.
I'm gonna just quickly hurry this up because I want to watch this shit.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, this scaling for MCU is by Voidery. Voidery, I'd give him credit for
How
that.
bad was this kid's Mario skill? Is my question. Like, what was his Mario skill even like about?
I think it was about Platoism. I don't know. Here's his hacks and abilities. Yeah, Jason being immune to existence erasure, soul absorption, history erasure, BFR, transmuting, mind control, possession, reality warping, immortality negotiation for type 8 and maybe 9 if you want to blink it. He also has universe manipulation because he's able to manipulate dreams, which are entire universes. Infinite timelines, all that. All right,
Guys,
what's up?
you should check the Chaotix Detective Agency.
Huh?
Tom doesn't know what he's getting himself into either. Tom's just taking All Star's side.
Oh no.
Oh god. Oh,
GG.
oh, this is not good.
It's not oppositional or probabilistic. This is how deductive reasoning works, not by guesswork or assumptions. Ooh. Let's see what Snow has in store for that one. That's if he responds. That's or he's just gonna be aura farming the entire class. Who's pinging me? I never seen a Jason
Exactly.
scale. Yeah, this motherfucker beats most of fiction, by the way. But yeah, Jason scales are like really rare now in these days, especially powerful ones like these. I'm gonna make it like public,
So has
easy.
Jimmy like conceded since he already said how am I supposed to debunk this?
Wait, really?
That's what you said earlier, right? Didn't he like say like
He said, "How the fuck am I supposed to compete with this? I got built to outer. That's it." Then now he's saying that he disagreed with the quantum realm part. He can argue that the universe itself is high universal because it transcends the quantum realm. But he thinks I stated that the quantum realm is the lowest plane of existence, which isn't true because it's an infinitesimal realm where you have to become subatomic to enter this realm. And this
where
ooh, speak of the devil.
Jimmy?
Speak of
Yo,
the
Jimmy,
devil.
you need to debate him right now.
Yeah,
Jimmy,
time to
beat him up.
debate. Time to debate. I'm live streaming too. Let's debate.
Beat him
For
up,
real?
Jimmy.
Yo, Jimmy
Beat him up.
Johns. Wait, what?
All right. I've been mentally tired today
Oh,
because of the time.
we don't have to do it today. We can do that tomorrow if you're that tired.
Nah, I'm locking in. I'm locking in just to have a little fun. I get to have a little fun today.
I guess. Anyways, why do you disagree with the quantum realm part?
All right, so let me go back just to make sure. I want to make sure that I completely disagree with it. I'm gonna go back to your scaling FFA because
Yeah, I've added more scaling to it, by the way.
No. I
Good.
love gapping the whole server.
He loves gapping an entire server. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back.
Meaning in was the reason it sticks to the name. All right.
Yo, Azak, they kept comparing us. I think we need to run it again.
Also, the quantum realm isn't a plane of existence. It's like a infinitesimal realm. Like you have to become subatomic to enter this realm. So it's
All
not.
right. So
So
one
it's
thing I would argue. Sorry.
um. It's also been stating that the quantum realm within the context, all not just the normal concept of space and time, all concepts of space and time became irrelevant, which would include the dimensionalities, abstract concepts, cardinalities, platonic concepts, all that. So the quantum realm should be consistently high 1T.
Whoa. Okay, that's a big jump. Okay, so here's the question. This is my big question for you about the quantum realm. So, your argument for the universe being outer or high 1T is because the quantum realm is at this level? Is that
No,
am I
no,
getting that?
no. I'm saying like the quantum realm is high 1T because it makes all the concepts of space and time, which would include the cardinality, the abstract concepts, the dimensionality concepts, like everything about the concepts of space and time, irrelevant, which would be high 1T. You can argue that it's naiaperion because Platonic concepts are immutable.
Fair enough. Okay.
And the universe contains this infinite symmetrical realm, adding a transcendence to it.
Okay, so there issues the problem. There lies an inconsistency here.
Hmm?
All right. So here's the thing. As it states, the concepts of space and time are irrelevant to the quantum realm, and the quantum realm is used in order to travel through different timelines and such. The problem with this, however, is the fact that, first off, we take into account the fact that it's used to travel into different timelines and that the universe contains it. This automatically assumes that the universe itself, or the universe that they're utilizing or inside, is in of itself a timeline, meaning that universe is bound by space and time, unlike the quantum realm. So we already know there's only two options
The
here: either
thing
the
is
quantum
that
realm.
the quantum they use like this thing for the quantum realm to travel to different realities and different timelines, but not the actual quantum realm itself. Like it's like in an end game where they use the fucking van to travel back in time. Here, I'll even show you a clip. Here.
Yeah.
That's if I can fucking find it.
Do. Because there is a bunch of like, I mean, they're gonna. Yeah, I never got the finishing game, by the way. So this is actually fun.
Oh.
I already know how it ends, though. Sadly.
Oh, here's where they travel.
Yeah. Start powering up like the Swan engine, baby.
Mhm. And they fucking hurry up. You see?
Good. They into the Swan engine. Mm-hmm.
So that's basically how they time travel.
All right.
So they're not going
So,
into the quantum realm itself. They're using the quantum realm to travel to different realities.
all right.
So my skill is still consistent because they're not using the actual quantum realm itself. They're just using it to travel different timelines and all that kind of shit.
The problem is why I still consider it inconsistent is because if this is used to upscale the universe as is, like to upscale the universe that our main characters exist in, the problem lies with the fact that, again, these universes are considered timelines and are thus bound by time and space. Now,
I
before
don't
I
think
can,
they're considered timelines because they're not timelines. The universes contain timelines. They're not.
huh?
Who told you that the universes in MCU refer to timelines? They're not timelines.
Oh well, the scan itself that well not
I
like the
said,
scan you showed.
however, I don't think they are referring to universes in the context of timelines, since universes contain timelines. So
I can say that universes can contain timelines, so that fits as well. I will also say though that we can go with Occam's razor, and there can be two possible variations of how to interpret the quantum realm. You could argue A, it's outer or beyond, or B, it's 0D. Because 0D would also be
how
not
can you
bound by space.
logically how can you logically exist in a zero-dimensional realm while it transcends dimensions? Like, let's answer that. That's an abstraction contradiction, which would get you to outer versal quantities. If you're beyond the concepts of, if you have no concept of time and space, if we use Occam's razor, space and time would be like connected, right? That's how you fucking use Occam's razor.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair.
Okay. And if we apply to that logic, there's no concepts, there's no time and space in the quantum realm, while it transcends time and space. So if you have no concepts of time and space while transcending time and space, it creates an outer versal abstraction. So that would be outer versal by definition.
All right, fair enough. Now, one more question though. When you refer to universes within that statement, like when you refer to universes, are you
Universes are
referring
basically dimensions.
to the physical universe? Are you referring to the timeline? Are you referring to something else?
So
Because
basically,
there are.
okay, it's my bad.
Sorry.
I'm so sorry. I keep talking. Continue.
All right, so essentially, from my own research, especially with looking at the four types of multiverses and Max Tegmark's whole research, I've discovered at least three possible definitions of universe. One, there's the technically four definitions for universe depending on how you look at it, but there's the physical universe in which we reside, which has three dimensions. There is two, the universe that contains time, which is the one that Einstein helped us discover, which currently we understand that we reside in. Three, there's the mathematical universe, which can contain an infinite number of realities, an infinite number of timelines, and so on. And four, just the term universe as a baseline. The term just means everything in existence. As
Yeah,
the
that's basically
people.
what the Marvel universe is, or the MC universe is for, because they describe the universe as all of reality.
All right. So universe is kind of used in synonymous with terms like omniverse, which is kind of
Omniverses. Uh,
omniverse is a weird. Comics coined that term for the sake of making a description of something that is beyond a multiverse, but is still considered the ultimate ensemble of everything. So, like, you're saying that the MCU doesn't really have like a set scientific notion on what the universe is. The universe just is. Like everything in the Marvel cinematic universe would just be considered the universe,
is, was,
even
and
other.
always will be.
Yeah. So it's kind of like how Final Space considered its multiverse and like such. They'll say like different universes, but they'll call it one universe. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I kind of get what you're going for.
All right, so this is going to be a tough one. The context of dimensions actually refer to universes, but there's also a statement that's kind of fake that refers universes as timelines, which doesn't make sense because universes contain timelines by definition in the MCU, because this has been proven throughout the series.
Mhm.
So dimensions in the context of dimensions context mean to universes. So yeah, so they're basically like universes too. So basically, you can argue that the self-containment of universes, like an infinite self-containment.
Mm. I can s- I-
Well, yeah,
You still there?
universes also extend bigger than infinity itself as they're indefinably expanding.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. Fair enough. Currently looking at the necessities for certain tiers.
Mm.
Mm. All right. So I want you to know that, like, do you know what high 1T entails within W, or are you using another tiering system?
What do you mean?
All right. So what tiering system are you using currently to get the
Hierarchy
intel?
battle wikis. It's like the best fucking wiki ever.
Oh, I've never used it.
It's
Maybe
really
it's
good.
actually Maybe it's actually better than other stuff. Okay, so little
Here,
hypoversal.
Wait, one question. Slasher, what's better, PSW or Hierarchy Battle? Was or
hierarchy
Hierarchy
battle
Battle?
wiki. Tier 0 and hierarchy
Alright.
battle wikis absolutely destroys tier 0 and power scaling wiki.
Alright.
Characters that can significantly affect or destroy planes of existence equivalent to ALF2 and deeper layer. No way. This is actually no. There's no way it actually beats PSW. No way.
Wait, which one are
There's
you on?
Hierarchy Battles wiki. This is so much better.
Yeah.
All right, 1A. All right, 1M. What the heck is a 1M?
That's for Whitehead's philosophies. So Whitehead's philosophy is difficult because it has to include like a meta realm that includes like eternal objects and objective immortality. But people say like, "Oh, this is easy. Just have eternal objects or objective immortality, all that." When you have to include like a meta realm, not just a normal realm, a meta realm, which is basically what Whitehead's philosophy describes: the eternal and objective objects.
While the superject is within structured reality, preconditioned nullity is the absolute negation of all frameworks, processes, and structures, including the superject itself. Tier 0 doesn't just transcend structure. It negating with the need for structure, the distinction between synthesis and non-synthesis, movement and stasis, finite and infinite. Unlike the superject, which is the final synthesis of all structured existence, is the absolute prerequisite to all movement before even the need for synthesis itself. In this sense, Tier 0 is not just an ultimate framework, but the negation of all frameworks, including those to define transcendence as a process. It's beyond even the highest level of structured divine actuality, before all conditions and beyond the need for resolution. Where the superject has coherence, Tier 0 erases the very distinction between coherence and incoherence. The absolute nothingness is the precondition for all things and dissolves the need for existence itself. Unlike the greatest conceivable being within structured reality, nullity is beyond all conceptions of greatness, divinity, and actuality. Even the absolute perfection of divine actuality, which is the peak of the superject, is dissolved in Tier 0. All distinctions between absolute and relative, finite and infinite, static and dynamic, and so on are removed. What's left is neither something nor nothing, but the prerequisite to both. Okay, so essentially, basically a more complicated, more OP version of Tier 0 and PSW, and even compounding.
Yeah. That's why Hierarchy Battle Wikis is so much fucking better than any wiki on existence.
It created a higher tier than a Pyron. I'm so surprised that was possible.
You could easily get beyond a period. Just have epistemiological nihilism. Epistemiological nihilism proposes being beyond all epistemological concepts, which is actually kind of easy to get in verse.
Bro, you are so.
Just
Bro,
have
listen,
like.
I don't mean to sound stupid, but for some reason you're so smart. I don't know what the heck an epistemological concept is.
Epistemological. You don't know what epistemology is?
Yeah, I've never looked into that. I'll actually have to look into that now.
No. I got you. Don't worry. People think it's just knowledge and stuff, and that's completely untrue. There's more to it. But mostly knowledge, but there's more into it.
All right, let me look into this. limits of knowledge, also called the theory of knowledge. It explores different types of knowledge, such as propositional knowledge about facts, practical knowledge in the form of skills, and knowledge by acquaintance as a familiarity through experience. Epistemologists study the concepts of belief, truth, and justification to understand the nature of knowledge. To discover how knowledge arises, they investigate sources of justification, such as perception, introspection, memory, reason, and testimony. So it's essentially the study of the nature of knowledge rather than just knowledge itself.
Yeah.
Like, what makes knowledge knowledge? How do we even retain information? What does that even mean?
The
I
concept
love how
of dimensionality is a part of knowledge.
It's so funny how we're just continuously regressing. Like when I say that, I mean like we're reaching infinite regressions into looking into like the very foundations of existence. Like it's a constant like in it's a constant spiral down an infinite hole. Like finally we understand the fundamental layers of existence. But what gave us that fundamental layer knowledge? It was knowledge. But then what is knowledge?
Yeah, that's basically what epistemology also asks. What is knowledge?
It's constant. You know, one of the hard things for me to do. I'm gonna be wild. Listen, this is going. I know. Wait, you're on a live right now, right?
Yeah,
What kind of live? Like a TikTok live or a YouTube live?
YouTube Live.
Good. Like I'm not gonna lie, TikTok live is a place I never really want to visit again.
Yeah.
It's annoying, but it's kind of crazy. You know, as a man who believes in God, part of me is one of my favorite things to do, just to like rep the goat, the savior, is always look into these Turing systems and be like, so how am I going to get God to the highest part of this? Can I do it?
Oh my god, that's like the easiest shit ever. Do you know the Bible has a Type 4 multiverse?
Yeah, I'm aware because there's actually like statements that heaven was created in eternity and we exist within a realm of time. Like that's the
That's
first.
not all. It's basically the Christianity has like the collective unconscious. The collective unconscious basically explains that all metaphysical statements, all life expressions, all of philosophy, all of mythology on a psychological premises exists, which would include a Type 4 multiverse because the Type 4 multiverse is a philosophical concept. You want to know what else contains? You want to know what else the Type 4 multiverse has? Model realism and extended model realism.
That's actually why. No, wait, wait. I was right this whole time. There
Yeah.
is a multiverse. It exists. There's a multiverse. No, my other theories were right. The gods of other mythologies do exist, but God doesn't want us to worship them because they aren't gods. They aren't actually gods. God's the only true God.
Yeah, I think we already knew that already.
My brain has been fried. You have. I'm going to have to read so much more of the good book. This is wild.
Yeah, that kind of actually proves that a multiverse objectively exists if we go by that logic, because the Bible's the truth.
You know what's funny?
What?
If I ever have the chance to call up those guys at the Atheist Experience, I can't wait for them to say, "Do you believe in free will?" And I'd be like, "Yes." And they say, "Well, God's will is overall, so how can you believe in free will?" Well, have you ever heard of the multiverse theory? The Bible kind of proves it exists.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's so funny. Dude, it's kind of crazy. I went into this trying to flaunt some knowledge on Bill or some sort of MCU thing. Then I got educated on some fun stuff. That's actually crazy. Now, listen, here's the thing. I probably won't be able to like do anything for this debate. I'm sorry, TNT, simply because what I'm up against is something I'm just not capable of comparing with someone like Bill. I have Bill pretty high. Sure.
Just debunk him. Just debunk him.
You realize I can easily debunk Bill Cipher to like a large country level?
All right. full upscale.
Well, it's not really
If you
not really mine, but you can have it, I guess.
Here's the thing. How about we make it this kind of debunk? How about we make this debate a little fair? And I know this is only fair for me, but hear me out.
Hmm.
If you can debunk Bill to anywhere below complex multi for me, like if you can debunk him and it stays that way, and like you can consistently keep it there,
Okay.
you win. Like I will be eternally impressed with you.
By the way, a space-time continuum does not exist in Gravity Falls. In order for a space-time continuum to exist, both time and space has to be fused together in a non-Lewisian Minkowski space-time that follows the Lorentz equations and has the Hasselhoff properties of a Lewisian topological space. So space-time in Gravity Falls is 3 plus 1 dimensional, meaning time baby transcending time would be one dimensional, and people who affected space in general are like universal because of 3 spatial dimensions. They're not fused together. That's why it's called space and time, not space time. That's literally the easiest shit I ever did all day. Want to know why that debunks? Want to know why that debunks Bill?
Sure.
He sees the universe as a hologram, which is kind of hyperbolic. You want to know why it's kind of hyperbolic?
Why?
It's a non sequitur fallacy because Bill never said he sees reality as a hologram, but is simply making a statement about the nature of reality.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, that's really my upscale for Bill, but fair enough.
So, the fucking infinite power part, it's kind of complicated. Infinite power or granting infinite power simply just a hacks and doesn't equate to AP. You want to know why it doesn't? Because you have to perform something that actually equivalates to AP. Say like Deku had like fucking infinite power, but he's never showed to actually demonstrate that infinite power. Therefore, he's not high universal.
Mm-hmm.
From absorption, Bill isn't able to extend infinite power across dimensions, which would make him scaling to anything the way invalid. Again, this goes back to the 2D planes and harming 3D planes, thus not making them infinite. Plus in the books, Bill destroyed the universe, which can actually be debunked in time frame because how long did it take for Bill to destroy the universe? Was it instant or did it take a lot of time? There's no time frame or context there, so this argument can easily be dismissed. So Bill can even harm a fucking universe.
All right, give me 1 second. There are certain scans that I have to find before I do anything, if that's okay.
Let me guess. It's about the Book of Bill.
It does have Book of Bill in it, but yeah. I like the Book of Bill. It's fun.
Very fun.
Very fun. Alright, so that's not the one I'm looking for. Alright. Alright, so a lot of the time people like when I use these certain things, everyone just says, yo, you know what you're gonna argue, and it gets me mad each and every time they do that because because most of the time they don't know what I'm gonna argue.
Yeah.
So I'm just letting you know, like, take what I send with a grain of salt because you might not know what I'm gonna argue with it.
Sure.
All right. Also, can you send me a link to that thing where you said like they can't be space times, or like they can't be space time continuums?
I mean, like there is no link, but how can we assume it's a space time because we haven't been proven. There's no proof that there's actually space time continuums existing in Gravity Falls.
All right.
Here, look. I'll send you the full text.
Space-time continuum does not exist in Gravity Falls. In order to have a space-time continuum, both space and most time and space must be fused together in a non-Euclidean Minkowski space-time that follows Lorentz equations and has Why is there so many words I don't know? Like how many names do I have to look up to find something?
These are fucking 1940s ass names, bro.
Non-Euclidean.
Just trying to
Minkowski space-time. I'm gonna look this up.
Min Wulkowski. That one's easy. Minkowski.
Min-
Minkowski.
A mathematical model combining 3 dimensions of space and 1 dimension of time into a 4-dimensional manifold. Yeah. Oh, dude, I've already researched stuff like manifolds. Oh yeah, those are like crazy common, especially when you're talking about stuff like mini worlds.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love mini worlds. It's like my favorite it's like my favorite version of the multiverse. I sound like such a nerd right now.
Yeah, I know.
Lorentz equation. Let's look up what Lorentz equations are. The Lorentz force equation. Lorentz transformations are a fundamental part of special relativity, describing how measurements of space and time change between inertial frames of reference, moving at a constant velocity relative to each other. Wait, so is this like that one concept where the faster you move in space, the slower you will move in time, and vice versa?
That's relativity.
I know, but it's kind of saying, but essentially, what it's telling me personally, like, and I'm not that smart.
I mean,
that-
like, if we like say like, they're just describing how. Oh yeah. Actually, yeah, it is. They describe how space time change for objects moving near the speed of light. So yeah.
Hausdorff properties. Hausdorff.
Let's take
Hausdorff
like
properties.
the Lorentz transformations in a basic form, right? One standing still, let's call this A. One moving at a velocity V, let's call that B. And they both measure, and they both measure the same event. We can convert between their space and time measurements using these equations. X, what the fuck is this one? 1 and whatever this fucking thing is too. I'll just send you the fucking equations in DMs. Basically,
Thanks.
X and T are the positions in time in A's frame, the stationary one. X and T are in B's frame, the moving one. V is the relative velocity between observers. C is the speed of light. Y gamma is the Lorentz factor. So in conclusion, we get this shit.
Y equals 1 minus the speed of light times 2 times v velocity, the velocity times 2 times 1. Wait, yeah, I think I got that right.
For an easy
That's-
analogy, one is standing on the sidewalk still, the other is on a fast moving train moving. The parade looks different to each of them because they're moving relative to each other. So
okay,
that's
so the Hausdorff space, the Hausdorff properties apparently have to do with how what does it say? This is just an AI overview, which they're not always smart, but they typically give like baseline answers. A topological space where any 2 distinct points can be separated by disjoint open sets.
yeah.
All right. That
Any
means
metric
that
space, the metric induced disjoint balls of around 2 distant objects. Any subspace of a Hosserdorff space is itself a Hosserdorff. Products of Hosserdorff spaces with the product topology remain Hosserdorff.
so essentially, what is like? I may be stupid, but like, it talks about how 2 disjoint, like how
Okay,
2
so
distinct points, right, by disjoint open sets. Are they
let me
talking
just
about like this?
let me just
Is
explain
the
it to you simply, okay? Sorry if I interrupted you.
I apologize. It's
T
okay. You're fine.
okay. T1 means you can always find a corner where one person can stand without the other seeing them. T2 Hosserdorff means you can find 2 different rooms so each person can go into their own room with no overlap, complete privacy. Which that's it.
So essentially, a Hausdorff properties basically explain how 2 disjointed spaces can be completely closed off from each other, and
Yep.
there can be spaces in between them without interacting with either.
Yep.
All right, so that actually makes a lot of sense. That's actually crazy.
So yeah, the fucking space time and Gravity Falls is 3+1 dimensional. So Time Baby transcends a one-dimensional concept.
Uh,
They're 1D.
Bunch of stuff. I've been training my whole life. I've been training my whole life for this, man. Okay, wait a minute. This is not a website.com. If you've ever there was a certain scam that I always used from this stupid website. If I didn't delete all my maybe I still have it. If I still have it, that would be like a nasty clutch. I would kiss myself, man. I would legit make out with myself right now.
What's going on in fucking Debate Constant 1?
Actually, wait. There's one other guy I know. One other guy. If you don't mind, I want to grab the scan from him. If that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Whatever. This is more of a discussion, anyways.
Yeah.
This supposed to be a debate.
Hey. Shh. It's too late. It's turned into a discussion.
It's too late, man. Chill.
It's not too late. It's not too late. Gravity Falls is like 2D.
Gravity Falls is like 0.
Yeah, I already debunked Gravity Falls to like 1D to large country level.
All right.
Also, hold on. Before you start, do you agree that taking over something doesn't mean you scale to it? Do you agree on that?
Yes, I can actually agree on that because like a conqueror can take over a country and still not scale to it. And I know where you're going with this, so go right ahead.
All right, go ahead.
All right. Give me one freaking god.
Keep playing this one Jason video because of my autistic ass.
Just having a video. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, part of me doesn't know what I'm gonna do here, because like this guy is big.
I'm gonna copy your message and say it. I'm sorry, TNT. It's too funny. I'm sorry.
Where's that
wait,
stupid?
I'm sorry. Wait.
I'm kidding.
Where is it?
Oh my god! Wow. Kill yourself. Man, I really hope you can fucking win. I'm actually asking you to win. Because if you show me something that it's already debunked, I'm actually gonna cry. Please.
All right, fair.
Please.
Fair. So you want me to win?
Yeah, but if you show me like a scan that's already been debunked, oh my god, you're gonna have the life of a nightmare. Nah, I'm joking. When I say that stuff like that, I don't actually mean it.
Yeah, Azak knows something about that too. I'm sure he can relate to Junior right now.
Scans in the entire series with me. One of my favorites. One of his favorites. Dude, I have like 4 or 5 scans I need to grab. I couldn't grab them before because I was dealing with a lot of crap. And now it's coming back to bite me.
So I got a question. Do you agree that Jason Voorhees negs Bill Cipher?
Not by my own volition, no, but I'm not going to debate it because I know I'm probably going to get my ass kicked.
TNT, do you agree that Jason Voorhees solos Bill Cipher?
Yeah.
Let's go.
I say that because I have my own freaking Gravity Falls debunk.
Oh, really? Nice.
My God, everybody here hates Gravity Falls.
I hate it. It's just really easy. It's really easily debunkable. It's kind of fodder. It's kind of like DC.
And yet,
it's kind of like DC.
Hold on, Jimmy. There's this scan that I found about Jason Voorhees, and this shit is so fucking overpowered. I don't even know what to fucking do with it. Look at this shit. Don't read it, but just look at it.
Yeah,
I finally
he's
found the
like, do
stuff.
Wukong.
What
Do
you found
Wukong, do
it?
Wukong.
I found. All right, so this
Oh,
scan.
Sonic versus Fiction. Oh, God.
Sonic versus Fiction. I can easily justify Sonic soloing Fiction. It's not that hard. You just gotta argue it
Wukong
good.
victim.
Oh my god! Did you just say Link victim? Link
I said Wukong victim.
Wukong. Wukong dick.
Yes, Sun Wukong is boundlessly boundless
Okay, buddy.
and
Whatever,
exceeds the
whatever
VSPW
your
tier system.
imagination flows through.
I'm kidding, bro, but I mean, Sonic is actually arguably a Link victim, low key, because I can debunk Sonic.
You've ever imagined.
TNT, you're making me mad.
I'm the only one here that gives Slasher a challenge, unless it's Snow or Monkey.
That's crazy.
Yeah, these fucking
Jimmy's
stands
my
for
goat.
Jason
Jimmy's my
Voorhees.
goat. So as soon as I heard that he had to go against Slasher, I literally like yelled and cried. I was like, he can't go out like this.
Like, look at this. Look at the scan. Is it? Tell me how OP that is. You can read it. I don't care.
Yeah, Sky makes me mad because he was telling me GG's too, and we didn't even like debate. Like his P and not P was terrible, and he was like, "Yeah, GG's." He stole my P and not P, bro.
Why do you hate
I had a
Gravity
Link
Falls?
logically boundless.
We all hate Gravity Falls, Emma. All right, let's see these other scenes.
Yo,
Oh,
ever
it's the
since that one, ever since that one meme, I hated it. I think it was the meme with Dust.
The meme of
I
what?
actually just debunked the 2-dimension, like in Gravity Falls.
Oh, you mean Euclidia? Yeah, that's already like nothing. Like I don't really care for that kind of situation. That doesn't really prove anything in any sort of situation. Just proves where Bill was. I can also debunk Bill as a two-dimensional being because that entire scenario is just like people really don't understand what happened to Bill after he destroyed his home dimension.
Holy fuck, the All-Star is literally, I don't know, man. I don't know what he's talking about, but cool, I guess. Anyways, I'm gonna debunk where Bill is from a higher plane of existence. So yeah, it did say he was from a higher plane of existence, but higher plane of existence does not equal to a higher dimension. Two planes can exist on that same dimensionality. The higher plane would simply just be on a higher level of that same dimensionality, but not above it. It also must exist as a separate dimensional axis to the other dimensions in order to be a higher dimension. And since it does not, it is not viable for higher dimensionality, since higher dimensions must have an inherent superiority over the lower ones, which isn't the case in Gravity Falls.
Oh my god, wait, bro, I finally remembered there was another guy who had my scans.
What scans are you even talking about?
They're from this is not a website.com.
Who
Bill
the hell is
talks
this
about.
guy?
Have you ever seen this is not website.com? If you haven't, get in the loop, man.
Okay, show me scans and DMs.
I'll just have to find the goat
Hold
first.
on, I'll be right back. Live stream.
Give me the good stuff. Give me the good stuff.
Alright,
Give me the good
I'm
stuff.
back.
There it is.
Stream.
Oh, there are. Oh, wait. No, these are two of them, but there's one. There's like two more that I. Gosh. Freaking. There's no way you didn't save them. You freaking. Like. Why do my goats have to be like this?
I don't know. All right, I'm back. What's your character?
All
Is
right.
it Sonic? Oh my god, why is Sonic popularly talking here more than Goku?
All right, so I'm going to send the first scan, the first one.
All
I
right,
can
send in my
freaking-
DMs.
All right, so let's
It's
talk
like
about
she's Wukong.
this is the lowest part. This is the lowest aspect of it. This is from the Book
Oh
of
my
Bill.
god.
This has nothing to do with what you're thinking of. It's not the Bill sees the world as a hologram. Like,
Physics
no.
called string theory. String theory? Are you kidding me? They haven't.
No,
I already
that.
explained how a space time,
not
a
that,
space time.
not that, not that, not that, not that, not that.
Okay. You almost made me pissed off. The truth is,
Yeah, I
our
was
entire multiverse is a holographic trading card.
held by a being named Dennis.
Are we
love
dead
that.
ass?
We did it, yeah. But either way,
All possible realities. That needs context. What kind of realities is it?
give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Where's the cards?
I fucking hate the Book of Bill. Jesus Christ. Who's pinging me?
So this is the part that matters most, and I'll explain why it matters.
Who the fuck are you?
So we're aware that Dennis holds the card, right? Like we're aware of that, right?
Yeah.
We are aware that Dennis holds the card. This is the part that matters, like the card. Let me explain. Like, just take some time, look at it, and ask me what you need to ask me. And I'll talk
The
about
coin
what I need
hits,
to
the multiverse continues, tails and blinks out of existence. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. So first off, let me explain that a multiverse does exist, so we know it's higher than just one 3D realm. Like there's more than just one 3D realm. So that's first and what we need to know. Like there's more than just one
The Big
three-dimensional realm.
Bang. Go from nothing to everything. 10 times. Are you sure this is not just a fucking... Are you sure this is actually what the fuck it is? And not just something that just is a aesthetic?
You can say like, oh no, it's just an aesthetic, but it's right there in the book. Not to mention like this is Bill's explanation on the entire multiverse, where it is shown that he is actively like showing
God,
us
bro.
towards the reader. So we can take this as pretty fair knowledge. Like we can take it as pretty fair knowledge. And you can't just say like, oh, but Bill could be lying, because actually it's not in Bill's character to lie. In fact, his most common trait is telling half truths. He'll tell the truth, but he won't tell the entire story. He's commonly known not to be a liar, but to be someone who tells half truths. That's kind of one of the points of his character. It's what makes him such a good manipulator.
Wait, so could that scan just be a half truth?
You could say it's a half truth, but in the end, there's still truth to it. There's really nothing that debunks it, though. There's really nothing that's
But
there.
see,
Where would this even
what
skill?
part
Where
would
would this
you?
even
So
skill?
what part do you? So what part? Okay. So what part of your scan do you even know holds truth in?
Wave function
To be
collapse.
fair, there's actually stuff that actually links
Fuck.
us. Stuff that
Oh
actually
wait.
helps provide.
If a wave function collapsed, that means there's no quantum mechanics because
Actually, that's where you're wrong, and I'll explain why. You see, in many worlds interpretation, my friend, the many worlds interpretation doesn't say the wave function will never collapse. It says the wave function doesn't collapse, and it hasn't. In this scenario, the only way a wave function can collapse is if a being from a higher realm of existence that views this one like a hologram.
Debunked the higher realms, though. They're not like
But
a separate
the problem,
dimensional action.
problem again. Listen. The problem is, even if you debunk the higher realm, this is not Bill's realm. This is Dennis, who views this as a literal card. This entire realm is just a card, a fictional card to him. It is a holographic
Even
card.
then, I still win because that's like 5D. You told me like to complex multiversal ranges, not low complex.
Yeah, but this is baseline. This is just the baseline stuff. This is the first scan. This is literally nothing.
Okay.
I'm just explaining that many world interpretation does exist.
Trading card.
The reason why I bring up the many worlds interpretation is to explain the whole is to explain how like the multiverse works at a baseline.
Oh, that's so bones. I'm kidding.
So do you agree? Does exist for the Gravity Falls multiverse, and that the only way it can be destroyed, right, and that the only way it can actually be affected is if a being from a higher realm of existence decided to just cause it to end on accident through a coin flip. Do you agree? And if you don't still agree, I have other stuff to bring up.
I mean, the all possible realities are speculative, but like, I guess.
All right. So wait. So you agree? Or are we saying we agree?
Halfway agree. Continue.
All right. So we'll place this at around. Let's make it.
It's literally
Where should this go?
baseline 5D. You barely got it to
Yeah.
5D.
Yeah. So I'm starting with 5D. That's where I'm going. And
Where are y'all sending these scans?
in
At
DMs,
DMs.
and also saying like slasher.
Oh, I wanted
Josh.
to be able to track.
All right. I can, if you want slasher, you can send screenshots of this.
Mm.
All right. So
I
let
want
me.
to track.
Just read all this real quick. I got it from my guy, 056.
All right. So let's get into. All right. This is going to be something you're gonna get. I know you're gonna get pissed at, but I'll let you let your anger out on the scan before I do anything. Okay.
Okay, sure. What's the scan? Please don't tell me the scan is in the fucking debunk I already sent. I'm gonna. You're making me mad!
Let me see the debunk. Let me see the stuff you're in.
Yay!
Let me see. Protocol scaling. Misrepresentation. Blah blah blah. Blah, blah, blah. The scan is. Let's see. No. It's one of the scans is in there, but that scan really has that scan's only used in conjunction with how you're arguing the stuff. But either way, there's another scan that I have that's in there, but I don't know how you debunk it in there. So let me see. All right. So I kind of get what you're going for there, but that's neither here nor there. Jeez. All right. There's a lot of this stuff. All right. Which represents a. No, use finite dimensional hyperspaces. Jesus Christ, there's so much crap here. All right, so
Yo, can somebody send me what y'all seeing?
I'm letting Slasher.
Okay,
So Slasher,
okay.
send this because I'm gonna send this, and I'll let you say what you need to say, and I'll let you say it as angrily as you want, but you have to let me say my piece. Okay? Is that fair?
Yeah. Alright,
Okay.
here we go. Let's see this scan.
God, I hate sending this scan because people get the wrong idea the moment I send it. They go, it's already been debunked. Like, you're right. You're right. It has to an extent, but I also have other stuff. So just look at it and kill me, stab me with a knife in the neck. Do it. I'm ready.
I'm gonna
Because
kill you!
I know you're gonna kill me, but tell me what you need to say first. Wrong, it's going wrong. Explain.
I think it should be obvious why the problem is this. Give me a second.
Oh, please tell me
So
you
go ahead.
you can debunk them.
So basically, the qualitative superiority.
Oh my
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna explain the full scans.
god.
Hold on. They're just labeled as like pan-dimensional beings. This does not mean they entitle like said properties of like an infinite dimensional being because people interpret the pan dimension as infinite dimension, which isn't really true. So this would be like
All
a
right.
nominal fallacy. And this is also appeal to false authority, as it's just a fandom wiki and not which is not a reliable source.
Okay, so first
At
off,
least when those,
I-
at least when dimensions, at least when
all right.
dimensions, though.
So here's the first thing I want to state. First, I'm not referring to the pan-dimensional concept. I'm just referring to the 7 to 11 dimensional
Did they
statement.
specifically refer to these beings as pan-dimensional?
They say pan-dimensional beings of Trizlax beta, since they exist in 7 to 11 dimensions at once, they have a horrible sense of direction. Now, even if you were to say they were considered pan-dimensional means all dimensions. You can argue by this logic that 7 to 11 dimensions is the highest amount of dimensions Gravity Falls has. I have different kind of debunks for that, but that's neither here nor there.
Pan-dimensional just refers to all dimensions of reality, which include a set amount of spatial dimensions.
Yeah, so either way, the reason why I'm trying to say what I'm trying to say about 7 to 11 dimensional entities. Good. First off, many people who try to argue against this go with the horrible sense of direction argument and how they crashed onto Earth and died. So there are several debunks for this. First off, if you've ever watched Gravity Falls, like season 2, episode 17, and you're a diehard fan of it, you'd read the code on the wall that says what killed them was not the crash. It's very heavily implied that what killed them was the shapeshifter. And you could say, oh, but the shapeshifter is a three-dimensional entity. Yeah, but the shapeshifter we know is not the same one that was there. So we would just have to go off to the baseline assumption that the shapeshifter that was on the ship was far more powerful or far more well versed in its abilities. So you could easily do 7 to 11 dimensional creatures.
Hold on. All right.
Are you debunking? If you're debunking, I'm ready. Send me your stuff.
Okay.
Let me mute up so I can take a leak.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna mute the stream real quick.
Sort of like gave praise, but the
There.
problem is with the concept of mini worlds interpretation being in Gravity Falls, which you literally agreed to, space time does have to be a necessity. That's how mini worlds works. You can't have mini worlds without space time because mini worlds literally needs the qualifications for space time continuums to exist. And since we've already adhered to Bill being baseline 5D, therefore there being actual space times where a fifth dimensional manifold is possible. There doesn't need to be this argument for qualitative superiority because I'm not adhering to the infinite dimensional statement. And there's really nothing to prove anymore that there are no space times in Gravity Falls because you've again already adhered to what I said beforehand. So there's really nothing here that debunks 7 to 11 dimensional beings, as I've already stated. So because these beings are terrified of Bill's power, Bill actively upscales the entire cosmology, which I'll get to later. Bill ironically has to scale anywhere between 8D to 12D. Do you have any comment?
All right. Boomabop. Bop. This really debunks Gravity Falls having infinite fucking dimensions or timelines or universes. So
Who is
kind
this
of
kid and why is he in my server?
this
Ooh,
kind
I
of
have said why it is. Firstly, that these worlds are locked away and only accessible via portal. For what? Actually, okay, so I've already debunked this from the first part. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
The portal gains access to the nightmare realm, which inherently is connected to all realities. This does not mean that they are completely locked away inherently and only accessible through portal as if they were just fourth dimensional timelines. Again, as I've already stated, many worlds interpretation. If you know how many worlds exist, which I hate having to go through this, do you know what many worlds interpretation entails, right? You know what it entails.
fucking easy. Yes.
Yeah, it's just the decohering of a superposition. It's the decohering of the wave function due to the existence of all timelines from that single moment being existent due to the superposition existing. So inherently, we know that there are infinite timelines that branch out in actualities within Gravity Falls. Therefore, we know that there are branching timelines and branching realities, and not all realities need to be connected via portal. The portal is only in connection to the one reality that cannot be accessed in any other regard, as seen when Ford traveled the entire multiverse without the portal. There was only one reality he needed the portal to travel to, and that was the Nightmare Realm, which is a specific reality which I'll get to later. You've already explained it in your debunk, but I'm going to explain it in a different way. Yeah, so also using that scan and that code doesn't work because Ford was deceived by Bill. If you remember in the show, Bill was literally telling Ford what he wanted to hear. He was deceived in the sense that he was right still. It would open a gateway to infinite new worlds, but it would open the gateway into the nightmare realm, because the gateway into all those infinite
Isn't
worlds
the nightmare
was
realm collapsing on itself?
Yeah, and you could argue, oh, but that debunks it. There's a lot that makes that really a problematic debunk. You could argue that it's collapsing in on itself. That doesn't really debunk much, and I'll
The
explain why.
nightmare realm is collapsing in upon itself, which shouldn't even be possible for a supposed infinite dimension. It completely debunks the whole argument. To be a higher space, it needs to exist on a separate dimensional axis for the lower dimension to have a inherent superiority over them. You know what I mean? Moving in a direction across the dimensional axis, the dimension between dimension argument and the gateway argument is not sufficient enough for this.
I'll explain it when we get there, if that's all right.
Yeah. Also,
But
fucking five spatial dimensions. It's kind of just dumb, I guess. The dimensions in Gravity Falls are locked away, but you already debunked that. Accessible to everything. They cannot be accessed or reached. And five spatial dimensions argument is like a Hitchens razor, not gonna lie.
so, do you want me to prove? So, what do you want me to prove currently? If there's anything you want me to prove first before we go
Do
along.
you prove that the dimensions and the context are referring to spatial dimensions?
Oh yeah, easily. Bill makes a statement that kind of proves it due to the context in the Book of Bill.
Oh my god, bro. The
Like,
Book
bro's
of
like,
Bill.
the Book of Bill, bro. But you can't lie. Book of Bill is literally peak fiction. Even if you
It's
don't
the
care for
only
the.
thing that's carrying him.
To be honest, not really. There's an entire scan in the show that really brings up stuff. But never mind. I'm not gonna talk about it. Book of Bill. Where is it? Oh yeah. So Bill kind of confirms that I can't use the problem with this Book of Bill scan is that I can't get them to I can't get them to 12th dimensional automatically with this because Bill confirms that the creatures are 7th dimensional.
Mm.
Filthy garbage. Go to repent of your sin. Go repent of your sin.
All right, so
Christ, I say go.
Bro, they're just
based on the
inviting so many people for no reason.
context in which it speaks, since All right, dang it. Since he speak, oh come on! I'm in the wrong place. Why, God? Why do you do this to me? Since he refers to them as being, as I quote, turns out I wasn't the first extraplanetary tourist in town. Those idiot seven-dimensional Trilazic Badians had crashed one of their ships right into the center of the attractor zone, leaving the valley strewn with the perfect materials for building my portal. Yeah, weirdo. So that's one of the big parts. Either way. Now, is there anything else I need to bring up?
Holy fuck, you're the first person to convince me that Phil is 12D or whatever.
He's 8D right now. Like currently, he's 8D. I'm not gonna wank.
That's
him and
it.
just-
That's all. That's all you're getting from me. All right. Bye bye.
No. Hear me out. There's more.
Nope.
There's more.
That's the highest you're getting. That's the highest you're thinking. That's the highest you're.
Whoa, what
getting.
happened to the debate? What happened to the
Bro,
debate?
you don't want to continue. What's the matter? You don't want to hear.
Hey, fucking continue then. Jesus Christ. All I know is Jason solos.
Are you mad? Are you mad though? Because I'm not trying to get you mad.
No.
Like,
I'm just joking.
Bro's like, I can't let them upscale Bill. He was my number one enemy.
My number one enemy is fucking Bendy. The guy's like below 0D.
Who? Wait, who?
Bendy in the ink machine?
Yes.
Why do you hate Bendy?
All right, this is
Because
random,
people
right?
link him to the strongest in fiction.
All right, so this
How?
scan right here is
Wait,
random.
hold on.
Because of the fucking meat
How so?
statements, which aren't even fucking real.
No
Alright, so-
way they're using those.
Anyways, let me look what he sent me.
This
I
scan
can
is like,
barely read that.
yeah, I know you can barely read it, but essentially, if I can grab another, I'll grab another scan for it. But the context is mainly Ford speaking about his journey through the multiverse. But this isn't even the most important universe he goes to. It helped me upscale Bill so high. All right, journal. Parallel Earth. That's what it is. I love the concept of parallel Earths. They're fun, but like people like to debunk the concept of like parallel Earths. But like I really think that very high, especially in this context when you really think about it, because it does show that not only are we adhering to the fact that the wave function inherent.
Yeah. Parallel Earth dimensions. Unlike the dimensions I've already described, many dimensions in the multiverse are parallel Earths. GG.
Yeah, so essentially, it helps kind of substantiate the whole mini world thing because it shows that there are continuously.
Refer to as fucking worlds.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. They're referred to as worlds. However, the problem is in this context, which I've already described how the multiverse works in Gravity Falls, these inherently should be seen as other timelines. Again, just due to how they're described. Like they're literally falling under the whole mini worlds interpretation concept. Being separate realities where past events have changed the effects of the future, with these current instances being where dinosaurs rule the earth and where they do their taxes and where like there are baby versions of every living being that you've already seen in the reality you've been in and such, random stuff. So this is just like random crap. Kind of like some Rick and Morty portal gun.
This is the highest you're gonna get me to think of what Bill is. That's it, bro.
You really think so? But
you're not getting him past high hyper. He's just hyper to me now.
All right, here we go. So this is
don't
first.
Bring up the Hilbert spaces, which are finite dimensional.
All right, so Hilbert spaces are finite dimensional. They are finite dimensional, and only under certain circumstances can they be infinite dimensional. They can be. They just can't really be first off, you can't really do a mathematical equation for an infinite.
If you can.
You can't really do an equation for an infinite dimensional Hilbert space because you'd have to be able to. You'd have to literally make like what is it? What's the word? I mean, you'd have to literally make a physical calculation of an infinite number of variables, which physically that can't be done. But this is what I'm talking
Ever
about
heard
with
of
the
the
random.
inner product, which makes the fucking Hilbert space? Vector addition and scalar multiplication are defined by combat-wise. Inner product makes the Hilbert space. Norm introduced by the inner product.
So let's describe. All right, so you're not using Versus Battle Wiki, right?
I'm using hierarchy battle wikis.
All right, so let me see. Does Hierarchy Battle Wiki go by the same rules for qualitative superiority in Versus Battle Wiki?
Yeah, it's like a nomological concept to a. I'll explain in a second.
Well, actually, all I need is one question. In Versus Battle Wiki, they essentially define that a being reaching qualitative superiority from a lower reality means that qualitative superiority would inherently be debunked because qualitative superiority, inherently entails that a lower being cannot reach this level in any conceivable way.
It's basically like a nomological concept to depend on a qualitative superiority over a world's possible dimensionality. And Heidegger's SQ construction of analogy, that would never get past 1m plus, not gonna lie.
One Aleph, you said?
Yeah, I'm just gonna post this in your DMs. I'm pretty sure I showed you this before.
R over F is a nomological concept to depend on a qualitative superiority on a world's possible dimensionality in Heidegger's construction of ontology. This would never get past 1m plus in HBW anyways. Huh. But wait, 1m, right? Where would that scale among, let's just talk about a
Easily
random
gets Judge Holden to that tier, I'm not even gonna lie. That's how easy it kind of is to get to a fucking character.
He never sleeps, he says, the judge. He says he will never die. Guys, this is transcendent over fiction. Dude, I love that. I love the Judge Holden upscale. Man's gonna shoot his cult dragoons
I
into
can actually
Scarlet.
justify 1m plus Judge Holden.
Dude, no, listen. This is what's gonna happen. The Scarlet King is gonna pop up. He's gonna try and crush Judge Holden. Then he's just gonna take out his cult dragoons and shoot him in his donger. Instant win.
Yeah.
Bro just transcends fiction. I never sleep. I never die. But either way, I was just asking because, where would 1m plus get in turn? What is? Oh God, I'm gonna have to look at Hierarchy Battle Wiki.
Yeah, you're gonna have to do it again.
Gonna have to do it again. Damn it! I don't wanna. I don't wanna do work. I love how every freaking wiki is it's normal, but then it gets wacky as soon as you get to the higher tiers. It's like they changed. This is what makes me mad. The wikis change nothing but the higher tiers.
Right away. 1m plus people basically just don't work. They don't work. Games don't work within existing logical frameworks. So.
All right, this
And they
tier
can alter the very principles that decide what's possible and what's impossible. So basically,
I have a question. Where platonic concepts get into this? Platonic universal
stuff. So they would
not
possibly be.
No, not immutable platonics. Not like the true platonics. Those are wacky. Those are gonna kill everybody. You can't beat those. Apart from if you.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, demise is truly platonic.
Get out.
Get out.
It's true.
No,
it's true.
He's not a Pyron. Get out.
Yes, he actually is. Yes, he actually is. Even Slasher agrees to that.
Still a Jason victim.
I disagree with that, but I don't. But right now, that's not something I care.
What do you mean? As he's beyond human understanding.
I understand that. Like, didn't know. That was funny. That was unironic. I
No,
didn't mean to say
it's
that.
directly stated in the game.
I get what you mean, but I will. We can talk about that in another time. But right.
Yeah.
I actually don't know what platonic concepts would be. Hold on.
Talk about platonic universals in PSW at least. Platonic universals are essentially they're like platonic forms, but they're not immutable. They still exist. They're unbound by any sort of physiological understanding. You can't physically define them with any sort of dimensionality. No matter how many Alephs you go into the layers of infinity for dimensionality, you will never find them. They are simply unbound by physical understanding. However, this does not mean they're immutable, as they are still conceptual and can still be interacted with conceptually. Immutable would entail that they cannot be interacted with because they cannot be changed. Which is because now there are two kinds of platonic concepts or platonic universals. There are they are constructive universals, right?
Jimmy, they're 1M at best. Just regular ass platonic concepts are 1M.
Oh my god, that's so good though. I don't care if they're just 1M. 1M's still good.
Yeah.
1M's still really good. That means like I could argue Adventure Time getting to 1M, bro.
No, never.
You're not gonna stop me.
The
Adventure Time is
verse cap
buns.
5D.
A bow cobble and soul is the verse.
Dude, I can argue there's an infinite dimensional Hilbert space in Adventure Time, and there are beings beyond space. There are beings beyond the preconceived notions of space and time entirely.
Oh, you just conceded that was 5D, plus I can debunk the infinite dimensional Hilbert space.
I didn't get to see. Okay.
All right, who wants to talk about demise now?
Not yet. We're still
I'm gonna end the
discussing.
stream for like an hour.
Here we
All right.
go.
Demise is bountiful down.
Enjoy today's stream. Bye bye. All right, we're good.
So